I'd like to speak with you for a moment about the aging process, and I have a question for you. Do you feel like you're constantly fighting it, resisting it? You know, what I want to share is the fact that it's going to happen, right? So there is a deeper truth that we could really embrace here that would behoove us. It would benefit us greatly. You know, one of the things that our culture in particular is so obsessed with is the way things look, the external world, how we're perceived, how we get ahead by the way people perceive us, and if we're going to be respected or if we're going to get the attention that we need, etc. And I want to remind you of a time when this sage was the most coveted individual in the tribe, that the leader that was there, that was the elder, was the one that everyone leaned into because of what they obviously knew. They had acquired the wisdom of living life, and they were the ones that were respected the most. And that elder, no matter how old you are, or no matter how young you are, is within you. There is an elder that is actually lifetimes old that is wanting to reveal itself as your own wisdom. And when we tap that wisdom and we bring it forward, we feel so alive. We feel youthful. We feel engaging in life. We feel like we're a part of a greater picture. We feel like we're a part of what matters most. And it's true, because we are. We're allowing ourselves to stay in the flow that is rich, that is always rejuvenating and replenishing itself. And if we stop holding on to attachments, we do continue to rejuvenate and replenish, and we become younger every day instead of getting older. If you're getting older, it's because you're holding on to stuff. It's because you're carrying baggage around that doesn't matter to you. You might age in that you're here on the planet longer, but if you're not feeling younger every year, it is because you haven't mastered why you're here. You're here to realize that you're not of this world, that you are an eternal, replenishing, flowing spirit energy. You are an essence that is a stream of consciousness. And, you know, while that might seem like a big out there picture, it isn't so much. It's the truth of who you are. And quantum science is teaching us that that's what we are. The whole study of bioenergetics is studying how energy moves through the body. It's not just that you're made of energy, but that dynamic process of energy moving is what actually allows for healing and rejuvenation and youthing in a system. So anything that blocks the energy flow in your system is really what you're battling. That's really what you're up against. And here's the amazing magical cue and clue is this. The very thing that you're fighting is what you have to embrace so that you're no longer stuck. And here's what I mean. If you've encountered something over the course of your life that was not pleasant, and it was overwhelming, perhaps it even stymied you in some way, then you didn't know how to process it fully. And so what happens in that moment is the subconscious starts to grab a hold of it and stick it over here in your pocket and pack it away somewhere so that you can keep going down the road. But that stops some flow. And then you encounter another one a little further down the road, and it's overwhelming. It was surprising. You didn't have any idea that your parents were going to say this to you, or that your mother-in-law was going to be this way, or that your spouse was going to quit their job, and all of a sudden you're left with a new challenge. These things are overwhelming. You had no way of predicting that someone was going to cross the center line in the car and hit you and injure you and take you out of work for so long. You had no way of knowing that your kids were going to get into drugs and lose their way for a bit. And all of those things, they stymie us. They short circuit us. We don't know, how's it going to go? What should I do? How can I manage this? And it short circuits our system to the degree that the survival mechanism kicks in and says, hey, you know, I don't know how we're going to deal with this, but for right now, let's just set it over here so we can keep going. Let's just process it later. Now, here's the problem. We pack these things up, we collect them, and they start to bog the system. And then we begin to feel bogged. We equate that with feeling old, and then we start looking in the mirror and thinking, what happened to me? How did this happen? How did I get so worn down? How did I get so exhausted? Look at my face, I feel so exhausted. How did this happen? We're looking in the mirror and thinking these things. And this is what we have to do. It's just like time out here. recognize that you're not old, you're eternal. So you're actually quite ancient, all right? So it's better than old, but it's a truth about us that we have to tap into. We have to recognize that, hey, wait. Truth is, I can handle that thing that I stuck in this pocket, and I can process that thing that I stuck in this pocket. And as I do, I will begin to feel lighter. And when I feel lighter, it's because I'm allowing this energy to flow through my system again that's been stuck for years, maybe decades. And that stuckness causes us to implode. It causes us to weaken. And so as we begin to process them, and I have many techniques that I work with people on how to process them more fully, more completely. I have many ways of sharing with people how to perceive the whole thing differently, to see that it actually was in your favor that this overwhelming thing was happening. It was actually calling you forward for you to recognize your greatness, not to overwhelm you or to bowl you down or to take you out of the game. It was actually here to allow you to perceive your magnificence. And when we can start to recognize that and build the circuitry, the neurocircuitry to perceive in that fashion, we stop holding this grudge. Even subconsciously, we stop holding the illusion that we have great limitations and that we are not so good at doing this life thing, and it's always hard. That begins to change as soon as we allow it to change. And we then become more empowered when we start to process these unresolved issues in our lives. And as that happens, we begin to glow. We begin to feel lighter and younger and stronger and more vital. And then we find ourselves amazingly less caught up in the battle, the war against aging, this huge fight that everyone's fighting. And we find ourselves less obsessed with the new latest cream or lotion or potion that's going to give us that glow from the outside in, when none of it is really authentic, going to keep you young. It might make you look better for a minute and a half, but then something will cause you to bog even more if we're never developing the circuitry, the neurocircuitry, to perceive the truth of who we are, which allows us to become more enlivened and awakened and active in this true life purpose. The whole thing is right in your hands. It's a matter of changing your perspective. And if you want to win this battle of aging, you have to stop the fight itself. The best way to win a war is not participate in it. The best way to stop a battle is to not see it as a battle. This is your time. It's your moment. And if you're even interested in the whole topic, in the conversation, then there is so much more available to you, and it is your time to learn it, or you wouldn't be interested in it now. So what I know is coming forward for you is an opportunity for you to take a deeper look at the truth of who you are. And your wisdom needs to be able to ride freely this wave of expression in your life, and your life will change. And as we begin to do that, we begin to feel more vital. So for instance, right now, if you just take a breath into your belly, and let your heart fill, and then just keep inhaling bigger than your whole body, and then exhale out in every direction around you. Just exhale in front of you, behind you, to the left, to the right, above you, below you, and just participate in this big, huge world and this big entire universe. Just go for it, and let it feel magnificent and vast and victorious. You follow? And now take a breath from all of that space, that big, giant spaciousness, and breathe it back in to your belly and receive it. And then inhale into your chest from there and let it feel good. And then keep inhaling bigger than your body, and then exhale out in every direction again. And as you do so, celebrate with the fact that you are mastering how to live in this life. And you've been there and you've done that and you've seen quite a lot by now. And that needs to work in your favor. And then you take a breath in from out in every direction into your belly, fill your chest, and fill it with this magnificence of this entire creation that we're living in, as if it's on your favor, as if it's in your favor, as if this is meant for you. It's not something that you're fighting, it's something that you're now participating with and collaborating with. And breathe in the deep wisdom from the cosmos, from the universe, from the earth herself. Breathe it into your core and let it be yours. Own it, have it. Breathe with a great celebration of your own magnificence, and recognize that you do not have to get caught up in the outer world's idea of what you're supposed to look like or how things are supposed to be at any certain age in your life. I have people in my coursework that are in their 80s and in their 90s that tell me they feel younger than they have felt in decades, and they look radiant. We can't get enough of what they have to say when they start to speak, because they've put it back together for themselves. They've allowed the hardships in their life to become nudges toward their own greatness. They've allowed the issues that were unresolved to contribute to their deep knowingness, their willingness to be present, to be loving, to be forgiving, and to be themselves. And when they are connecting the dots in such a way, they glow. They emanate some essence that we all want a part of. This can happen for you no matter what age you are and no matter what has been stored in the pockets of your life. We just have to learn how to connect those dots again, drop into our core, and breathe with the constancy of the universe, which allows us to be bigger than we thought we were. So if you're constantly fighting this aging process, I want to tell you, it's in your favor. It's your time to recognize you too can be younger every year. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us at drsuemorter.com and sign up for our free membership and receive a free meditation. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and I can't wait to connect with you soon.